Welcome to the Psychexp channel. Today I will be explaining the basics of how to create a project in Psychexp. So let's get started by firstly logging in to psychexp.com. Once you have logged in, select Add New Project from the menu, enter a name for your project, and then click the Submit button. You will be returned to the dashboard where you will see the project you just created in the project list. Click on Open, and then on the next screen click Edit Project. When you first create a project in Psychexp, a default block and a default question are inserted. If you would like to change the question type, simply click on the question and select your desired type from the list. You can change your question text by clicking the edit icon. You can also change various settings relating to the question by clicking on the settings icon. If you would like to delete the question, click on the delete icon. To add more questions to the block, click on the Add Question button. If you have more than one question in a block, you will also see arrows to move the question either up or down in the question flow within the block. Clicking on the Quick Preview button shows you a preview of the single question as it would be viewed on a smartphone or tablet. The questions are housed within a block, and when a block is created, it is named Default Block. You can change the name of the block to something more distinctive by clicking on the edit icon. If you have more than one block in your project, you will also see arrows that allow you to move the entire block and its contents either up or down in the flow. Having multiple blocks in the flow allows you to randomize a selection of questions in one block while leaving others not randomized in another block. To add a new block that can contain more survey questions, click on the Add Block button. To add an experiment into the flow, click on the Add Experiment button and select your experiment type from the list. The experiment will automatically be inserted inside a new block, and you can move that block up and down within the project flow by clicking the arrows, the same way as you would do with a survey question block. Both survey blocks and experiment blocks have a settings icon, which allows you to change various settings related to that block. At any time during the building of your project, you can preview the full project flow by clicking the Preview button. Survey questions and experiments in the preview are identical to the live pages your respondents will see. However, no data is recorded in the dataset. Once you have finished adding survey questions and experiments to your project, prior to distributing it to your respondents, you will need to set the project settings. Click on Project Settings in the menu to open the settings page. The settings page has two sections: Basic Settings and Advanced Settings. Only the basic settings can still be modified after you have distributed your project. Please also note that once you have distributed your project and a respondent has completed the survey questions or experiment, you will no longer be able to make any changes to the project in the Edit Project section. It is very important to preview your project and make sure everything is how you want it prior to distributing the project to your respondents. Let's now take a look at the basic settings that can be changed on the settings page. They are fairly self-explanatory and allow you to do such things as set a time limit for when respondents can complete the project. You can also select whether you will record the geolocation of your respondent when they start the survey or experiment. Please note that for geolocation, the user must opt in when asked on his or her browser, otherwise their location will not be accessible. After you have changed any settings in the basic section, you must click Save Basic Settings to make the changes permanent. In the Advanced section, you can select whether your respondent can only do your survey or experiment once or multiple times. You can also choose to require your respondents to supply an email address in order to participate. In a closed access project, only respondents with a pre-registered email address will be able to participate. To pre-register your respondent's email address, click on the Respondents tab in the menu. Once you have finished changing your project settings, you are ready to distribute your project to your respondents. Click on QR code in the menu to obtain the individual project URL or QR code to distribute to your respondents. Once your project has been distributed and respondents have completed your survey or experiment, you can download the data at any time by clicking the Dataset tab in the menu. Prior to downloading the data, you will need to set the dataset column headings and save the changes. Each column heading must be unique, and only alphanumeric characters can be used. The Download Dataset button provides a summary of all survey and experiment answers in Excel format. If you have one or more experiments in your project, you will also see a Download Details button for each experiment in the project. Well, that's all I have for you in this video. I hope you have enjoyed it and found it to be informative. Please check out all of our other tutorial videos on the Psychexp channel to learn about all of the experiments you can insert and customize in your Psychexp projects.